To start with, this is certainly not the cleanest art style out there, but when it is clean, it is stunning. This story also spans 2 volumes, and I have to admit that the second volume has some gorgeous panels. If you don't mind sketchiness and inconsistencies with overall beautiful art, this is well worth a look. I also love the design of Yaoi. Typically with male omegas, they are given much smaller and softer features. Yaoi is very beautiful, but he's depicted as an average man, which I appreciate. I'm a sucker for dainty and beautiful omegas, but I love more average, masculine, and rough and tumble omegas too. My own Omegaverse novel series features both types, so I'm all about every type of omega. Now, just because male omegas don't appear all that different from male betas or alphas, doesn't mean there isn't prejudice. I actually think the depiction of sexism and prejudice against the different secondary sexes in this series is some of the strongest out there because it's much more subtle. Well, most of it is. There is, as usual, the sexual assault and slut-shaming elements we are all familiar with, but there are the much more micro levels of sexism that occur that I don't think are as prevalent or pronounced in other Omegaverse series. There is a poignant scene where Aoi's out drinking, and his being a male Omega is called out for everyone to hear. Suddenly, he's surrounded by people who are questioning him about being an Omega and even talking about him like he's a zoo animal or something similar. There is a dehumanization of male Omegas here presented in a very casual and seemingly socially acceptable way, which is powerfully disturbing in its subtlety. I would love to see more of this in other Omegaverse stories. But enough about that, let's talk about the core of this, the romance. With this only being 2 volumes long, it is a bit of a whirlwind, but I love how it's presented. There's a suggestion that the immediate attraction between Aoi and Akane is because of fate, which I am a sucker for, but it's not heavily explored. It's just a suggestion, and in a way, I think I like that more. There isn't this immense pressure to be together, and in reality, there are multiple times for various reasons that they choose to separate, albeit for minute amounts of time, but they always end up back together. It's romantic and beautiful, what more can you ask for? I also have to mention how much I adore established couple stories, especially in the Omegaverse. If this hadn't been set up as a flashback story, we would have ended up with my common complaint of too little child rearing or little to no impreg. Thankfully, we get lots of yummy instances where Aoi and Akane raise and care for Shima. While I could always use more, I love that we get as much as we do since this is framed in the present and looks back at their love story. I also adore that we see their love transition through significant life moments. We have the initial high school romance, which moves into a relationship during college, which of course culminates in them dealing with being parents as well as partners in the present. Seeing how each stage changes their relationship is immensely satisfying. Really, my only complaint is that we don't get more. Also, I really wanted to see the side couple relationships, but I'm just greedy like that.